Hello students, welcome back and it is nice to see you. Today we are going to discuss paper 2020 Combined Science 2020 May variation 62. So let's dive into the first question. A student investigate the reaction of metal with hydrochloric acid. So we know that hydrochloric acid with copper sulfate. Okay, so these are the things that he want to analyze. Okay, he want to put copper sulfate and acid. Order of reactivity that you should memorize is something like this. So whether the question give or don't give, you should able to know because you supposed to memorize this. If not, how can you answer question paper 4 and paper 2, because a lot of equation also you need this. So but however they already give, so never mind. So they give something. Okay, procedure reaction with hydrochloric acid. Student measure of hydrochloric acid and then put in the last test tube, measure the temperature of hydrochloric acid and adds 1 spatulator of iron powder. So basically he just want to take the acid, add with the iron powder and stir it, and we see what is the effect. So probably of course the upper one will be more reactive, lower one will be less reactive. For example, like copper, silver, gold, mercury, then we know that gold is at the bottom, though it didn't write, we know that it is really not reactive and nothing will happen. And copper also is really very less reactive, so cannot react with other thing, depend on what thing we are talking about lah. So he repeat it with, of course you need to repeat it with magnesium, zinc, lead and copper powder. So he repeat with magnesium, zinc and lead. So obviously we assume that magnesium will have the highest change of temperature because magnesium is more reactive. Potassium, sodium is even more, but the question didn't say. So they only use for this few thing only. Okay, so then they give you this graph. The temperature reading is as shown. Record it in blah 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 with 0.5. So make sure that at least you have 1 decimal point. 1 decimal point with either 5 or 0. So let's see the student do. Okay, 1 decimal point with either 5 or 0, you get how many marks for this one? 2 marks. So this is a 2 bonus mark. Usually student will get wrong if the student didn't write the decimal point, or didn't write the decimal point with 0 or 5. State which metal is the largest change. So state which metal is the largest change. So it will be magnesium. Okay, because it is the most reactive. Okay, most reactive. So as long as the examiner see most reactive, then you will get 1 mark. Explain the temperature does not change when copper is added with hydrochloric acid. So the answer is copper does not react with acid. But the student write it is not reactive. But the marking scheme is copper does not react with acid lah. So I just put this one here. The reason is if I can put hydrogen ion, where should I put hydrogen ion? Okay, but if you look at the position of hydrogen, we can see that hydrogen is between zinc and iron. This one also we need to know lah, so that we can use hydrogen to displace other metal, or carbon to displace certain metal at the bottom one lah, of course. So the student mentioned, so the answer will be copper does not react with acid. We just follow the marking scheme. Suggest one change to the apparatus would improve the accuracy. So the student mentioned to measure the mass of the metal, a balance, correct, but the preferable answer is pipette instead of measuring cylinder. This is the preferable answer. Okay, but both is correct. Okay, so you get 1 mark. Okay, hydrogen gas given off when magnesium react with acid. State hydrogen gas and give the result in positive test. Okay, so of course the test is use lighted spleen. Lighted spleen, then you hear pop sound. For oxygen you will use okay, so
for oxygen.
yeah, so there's always a few thing that we know. Okay, for hydrogen we use lighted wooden cylinder, will pop. For oxygen, let's say lah, the question asks, okay, you use a glowing splinter, put it near the mouth of the test tube, fire will rekindle. Anything lah, fire will come out, fire will appear or whatever lah. And then other one more is CO2. Of course, it is lime water, and lime water will turn milky, cloudy, up to you, chalky, up to you. Okay, so these are the year 9 one lah. We must know because we never know what the exam might ask, but these are the basic thing that we must know. Procedure: reaction with aqueous copper sulfate. When we talk about aqueous, yeah, you need to know that. Where is my highlighter? There is a reason, sometimes why they put aqueous or put a solution or put molten or concentration. So when they talk aqueous, means there is water, okay? There's liquid and there's water in it. Pour in the aqueous solution the sulfate, okay? So first you pour the blue color copper sulfate aqueous, measure the temperature, and then you put the magnesium and you measure it. So you put magnesium ion, you measure it, you get actually 2813. Makes sense because magnesium is more far, okay? If I draw arrow more far, then it will be, if it is more far, then the temperature change will be different, will be more compared to one more they use is iron, is it? So iron to copper. One more is iron to copper, one more is magnesium to copper. So of course it's further apart, the temperature is more bigger. Same with the battery and electrolysis also. Sometimes they will ask you the electric, how much electric that you can produce, because something in your battery also got this thing, okay? You need to use two different metal in your battery in order to create the voltage. So if the metal is further apart, it will create a higher voltage. If it is nearer apart, it create the nearer voltage. But if it's the same, then no voltage lah. The battery just doesn't work. The battery actually got usually got two type of metal. It will flow from the more reactive electron from the more reactive metal to the lower one. Okay, so one thing you take note, and usually they will ask you to find the range. That's why I draw out is easier. I draw out is easier. Sometimes here will be 9 watt, here will be 3 watt. So probably here different will be 6 watt, something like that. By drawing like this, you can calculate when the question asks you what are the voltage between this metal and this metal, or what are the temperature of this temperature and that temperature. Okay, let's look at the question. Where was I? Complete the table by calculating the missing temperature. Okay, so mathematical calculation, very easy. Just take what, this one minus this one, this one minus this one, you get big number minus small number, get this one. Temperature is 21. Okay, now you don't know, predict the temperature in with aspect. If I put zinc, something that you don't know, okay, so the student write 21 is correct. 21.0. Okay, very good. You need to put 0.0. If you don't put 0.0, so you will get wrong. You see, here also put 0.0, 0.5 or 0.0.5. So if you don't put 0.0, you will get it wrong. The answer scheme is anywhere around 28 to 13.6, up to you lah. Anywhere that you choose the figure, but the student do very good lah, because it's almost 21, it's almost the middle of between this figure. Okay. Explanation: zinc is between magnesium chloride. Okay, so you get 1 point for this one. Next question, figure 2, show the observation made during magnesium. Let me highlight. Magnesium powder and aqueous sulfate. So he want to put magnesium and aqueous sulfate. Probably the magnesium will displace the copper because copper is less reactive, so it will become a magnesium sulfate, something like that. Okay. A blue solution turn colorless, so copper sulfate is blue so it become colorless. Okay. A pink solid, when we talk about pink solid form on the magnesium solid, so magnesium powder, so obviously it become combined with certain thing already. Okay, so name of the pink solid is copper, name of the salt is magnesium, sulfate. Okay, so the student get 2 marks for this one. Very good. If you want to write the equation, it will be what? Magnesium plus CuSO4. Or is it CuSO4? Become magnesium sulfate plus Cu. Okay, something like that lah. If you want to draw out, the thing is magnesium will displace the copper. Okay, and then I don't know the question. You can ask redox reaction, and then you lost oxygen, add electron. This one, if the question asks lah for redox reaction, many things they can ask. Okay. Okay, explain the change observed. Okay, the student didn't get any mark. The answer is magnesium displace copper. Okay, the keyword is displace. You must take the word displace, or let me see. Either magnesium take the place of copper, or magnesium is more reactive than copper. Okay, so I think the keyword lah, because you read book, you know, usually they use the word displace. So I just follow the book lah. And the marking scheme also say the word displace. So make sure you got write this keyword, then you get this correct. Maybe the examiner will give it correct also lah. Magnesium combined with sulfate, but I don't know lah. I just follow the marking scheme. I'm not sure. Number 2, a student investigate the effect of substrate concentration of rate of reaction. Okay. Catalyze enzyme break down the hydrogen peroxide to release oxygen. So if you know science experiment, in order to do oxygen, of course sometimes you can use plant, put in the water, and then just capture the gas. But usually in order to get a faster oxygen, usually they will just get hydrogen peroxide. Some question will ask what is the function of hydrogen peroxide to release oxygen, something like that. Okay, so hydrogen peroxide plus catalyst will get water plus oxygen. Percentage of concentration, of course, if the concentration is higher, then probably you will get more oxygen, faster rate of reaction. Lower, then you get lesser. So hydrogen peroxide also you can buy in pharmacy. Well, I asked my student what is hydrogen peroxide. He says for wash cloth. Obviously it's to they sell in pharmacy. You can buy it, and is for antiseptic. So usually if you don't want to use Dettol, you can use hydrogen peroxide, but usually not many people will use hydrogen peroxide. I don't know why lah. Usually we use like antiseptic, or we use the yellow medicine or something like that, iodine, but we seldom use hydrogen peroxide. But if you don't want to use iodine, you can use hydrogen peroxide. So sometimes they mix these two together. You need to read it. I think they mix these two together. Of course, you can use this to wash clothes as well. You can go to YouTube, and I also got hydrogen peroxide in my room, which I use to wash stain of the shirt stain. I'm wearing white, so it's very difficult to wash when there's stain, especially there's a stain in the armpit, you know. When you wear white shirt, after some time it will become like yellow color in your white color shirt. So what I do is I just take hydrogen peroxide, mix it with soda bicarbonate, put in there. You can watch YouTube lah, and it works, you know. I can't believe you can wash that stain and it works. But after that I calculate, just buy new shirt lah, because if the shirt is not expensive, because hydrogen peroxide also is not cheap. One bottle like this around 7-8 ringgit. It's not worth the. Then my white shirt is only 15 ringgit. Uniqlo one 15 ringgit. So you can easily get a Uniqlo 15 ringgit white color shirt. Where was I? Just now I'm until where already? Okay, he repeat the experiment. Yeah, he repeat the experiment. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1%. Of course, I don't know what the question is going to ask. Okay, let's look at the question. Name one piece of apparatus that is suitable to measure hydrogen peroxide. The answer is measuring cylinder. The student write burette. Then I give correct lah. I give wait. Okay, so the answer in the marking scheme is where was I already? It's the measuring cylinder lah. So I just follow. The reason, of course, you can still use burette, because burette is to measure 0 ml to 100 ml. Also, but if you use, but burette is more towards, I think lah, the burette is more towards when you want to measure a more measure a certain volume and you want to control adjust it. So for example, for neutralization process, where you can stop it at the time that you want it to stop. So that is very good when you are using burette, because you can stop it when you want to stop it, especially during neutralization process. But because we are not doing neutralization, we want to test a fixed amount of hydrogen peroxide. So measuring cylinder should be sufficient. But burette also actually is correct. So I don't know the examiner want to give correct or not, because the marking scheme just write measuring cylinder. But it makes more sense because this is not a neutralization process. There is no need to use burette. Figure 2.2 show the reading of stop clock, 3 to 2% of hydrogen peroxide. 3% you get faster, the thing faster flow because got more oxygen being produced. 1.45 you get slower because the rate of oxygen being produced is lesser. Calculate blah blah blah, calculate the average time. This one mathematics you guys do lah, plus divided by 2, plus divided by 2. Find the middle and see here got decimal or not. Okay, here no need decimal. I just want to be careful whether got decimal or not. So easily you can get, this one only 1 mark. Describe the relationship. If something increase, concentrate hydrogen peroxide increase, then the time will increase, something like that. You write yourself up, use your own word. Different student will use different word, as long as the keyword is there. Suggest why you want to repeat to get more accurate answer. Actually this one also I want to give correct, but the marking scheme say to spot anomalous result, so I just follow lah. But actually most science book that I read also, I feel that we repeat it so that you will reduce the error, get more accurate answer, accurate result. So but the marking scheme is just to write to spot anomalous result. Okay, so maybe the examiner will give you correct lah. So I already think in order to be easier, just write 2 answer next time. Okay, to spot why you want to repeat, to spot another result and get more accurate result, you just write 2 answer lah. Because I remember some question asked, they want the first answer, and then now they ask again the same question, they want this to spot anomalous result. So I think it is safe to just write 2 answer to spot anomalous result and to get more accurate data, something like that lah. I think that should be better when doing exam. Yeah, I think I will do that lah. I also suggest what to student do like that. The reason I don't give correct, because when examiner mark, they must follow strict for the marking scheme, because it's the whole world so they must follow, because if they change, then the whole world must change. So if wrong means the whole world must be wrong, so they must follow they are very strict in following the marking scheme. That's why then probably they will give wrong because they are standard unless they will give some bracket up there. Okay, a lot of things to read lah, the marking scheme, but student no need to read lah. Now VI state 1 safety hazard association blah blah blah. Okay, you need to wear glove. The reason is to protect yourself from the hydrogen peroxide. Hydrogen peroxide is acidic, may cause skin irritation. Okay, so if you write just wear gloves, you straight away get correct because it's only 1 mark. But if you write cause skin irritation, also is correct lah. But because I thought that because it's antiseptic, so if you want to got a scratch or a bruise, you want to put a hydrogen peroxide, and then you say it's irritation, then I feel weird. But after that I search in Google, I just search in Google, yes, it might cause irritation, but I think it depends on person. Some people, that's why in the label medicine it say if got irritation, please refer to doctor, something like that. So actually it depends on person. Some people might not suitable to use hydrogen peroxide to treat wounds. I don't know. Okay, but I just Google it lah. It just say can. It just say not. I don't know lah. Just say can. Then I just follow lah. VII state one variable that students should keep constant. You can write size of this or temperature or catalyst, up to you. Okay, these three things. Draw the graph. Draw the graph. This is 3 mark. 1 mark for the scale, so the scale is correct, so you get 1 mark. 1 mark is for the labeling, so he got write the title and the label in terms of 1%, correct. This one also the student got right, and he got write S for second, so you got 2 mark. 1 more mark is the line plotted correctly. Okay, so your line is plotted correctly, you get 1 mark, so the student get 3 mark for this one. Determine the average time. Show on graph. Show on graph very important. If you don't show on graph, then it's wrong. So the student show on graph for 3.7. So 3.7, you just draw dot 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 dot. Here you get 35. So maybe like if you want, you can just use a pen right here, 35, which is good lah, because the question asks you to show on the graph ma. So you now already show on the graph. This one is 35, but very lucky the student get 35 correct, because the answer is 31 until 35. So it's a very borderline. The student get 35. Okay, it should be like that lah. Maybe the student didn't draw properly, so he got the ngam 35. Okay, but you draw nicely lah. Because one more it will become wrong. Next question, number 3. Investigate the potential difference. When you're talking about potential difference, they also are referring to voltage lah. Voltage potential difference, it's almost the same thing across the 100 cm. So obviously this is a resistor, correct not? Because it's a resistant wire. But if you adjust it properly, it becomes like variable resistor, correct not? Well, variable resistor means you can adjust, turn the thing in order to adjust the resistance. But this one also you can click front, click back. As you click more front, you got less resistance. You click more back, you got more resistance. So it's something like variable resistor. But of course, it's for experiment lah. Our house we don't do like that lah. Who want to take this thing and use this way to control the light? Then someone is dangerous when you're talking about high voltage. The student connect to the crocodile clip X so that the length in the resistor wire and the 100. So close the switch. Okay, something like that lah. I don't want to read, but I think it just say change front back, change front back. The answer for here is 2.0 volt. 2.0 volt. So because the student just write 2, so it didn't get any mark. And this one is 0.12 is correct. So you get 1 mark for this one. Calculate the resistance of R1. Correct. Okay, 1 mark again. The ohm, remember the unit, but here already give you unit. But just make sure got unit. Usually this is how the question trap the student. Write the unit. You can choose 2 answers, either 70 or 60.7, up to you. In the marking scheme already write like that so I just write out follow only. The student remove the crocodile clip, and if you clip, then you got 1.8, 0.21. Calculate resistance. 2 significant number only. Okay, because in the marking scheme it write 2 significant numbers, so I must follow. Okay, so the student write 2 significant numbers, so it's correct. V equals to IR, the formula. If you don't know, you just follow here. I mean, so good one this paper. Usually sometimes they don't even give the formula, but this one already give you know lah. Paper 2 don't usually give you a formula. Maybe paper 4 don't give you the formula. Maybe paper 6 that give you the formula. Another student suggest the resistance is 100 volt could be double the resistance. That is correct. That is the formula to calculate the resistance, and we know that by following the formula, resistance equals to P. Okay, of course there's a formula for the resistance. Of course got 2 lah. One is V equals to IR. Another one is R resistance equals to PL over A, which is the area. Okay, L is the length, P is the resistivity of the wire. If the question give you, but usually this is something like a constant lah. Of course, area is pi r power of 2, depend on the thickness of the wire. Of course, if the thickness of the wire increase, we can know that resistance decrease. If the length increase, we know that the resistance increase. So by doing this formula, we know that length increase, resistance increase. But if the thickness of wire increase, the resistance will decrease according to this formula. P, there's nothing much to do it lah, because P is the resistivity of wire. Because if you are comparing like a copper wire, gold wire, silver wire, then iron wire, then it might got different. But this one you cannot change because it's the type of the element. But one of the best thing to conduct electric is copper. So that's why we are using copper to conduct electric, like a copper wire in our house. And it's quite expensive also to buy wire, especially for aircon, the thick one, and people try to steal in the highway. Sometimes you see highway there's no light. Usually people steal the wire, then because you can recycle the copper and you get a lot of money from it. So yeah, so according to this formula, but if you get double, if you want to calculate it, you can calculate it. Doesn't justify it very good, because as long as you say that something that is double the value, so you get double the length, you get almost double the what, so you will get 1 mark. Very good. Another student suggests the resistance is proportional to length. Yeah, according to this formula, it's supposed to be proportional to the length, because there's a formula for coil resistance. But we seldom use this, don't worry. For combined science, we seldom use. Usually this one is used in the physics. But I found out this formula is easier to explain to combined science students, because it makes sense when there's a formula and there's a direct proportion. So repeat the test with the length of resistance wire. Yeah, okay, they have to extend, so you can very good lah. The student say do the experiment lah, then you know. Okay, correct, very good, you get 1 mark. Explain how the student can process the result to reach the conclusion. This one I forget to mark. If the resistance of wire increase, the length increase, it means that the resistance of wire proportional to the length. Okay, this one I give wrong lah. I mark straight a bit lah, because the better answer will be plot a graph. Because when you plot a graph, it's easier to see. Of course, you can still see like this if you say comparing the ratio or draw a table and but so I give wrong lah, because the marking still say plot the graph of resistance against PD. Okay, so makes sense, because if you plot the graph, then it's easier to see, because how you can know, you draw the graph, then you will know. Okay, so this one thing. Figure 4.1 show the water, put a salt solution. This one you can pause and read lah. I don't want to read this whole question. So basically you want to test the density of the salt. Wait, I also forget the question already. Wait, let me read the question. Containing a solution of salt and water in a float water in the test tube, this because salt solution. Okay, he didn't give the objective. I don't know what he want to do. He just say something like this is happening. The higher the concentration, the greater the density. Okay, maybe he want to investigate this. Find salt is blah 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 in the salt. Plan and expect. Now this is the main point. Investigate to determine the concentration of salt using. Okay, so now we have a problem. We want to determine the concentration of salt. We don't know. There's salt A, salt B, salt C, salt D. We don't know. But we can use something like this. Because if I put more salt, the empty test tube will go up higher. If I put less salt, the test tube will go lower. So I just need to put X, Y solution salt A, B, C, D, E, and measure the height of the empty test tube. The higher it go means more concentration, the lower it go means it is more, okay, less concentration of salt. Okay, so they give you a ruler. Okay, you need a ruler, you need a test tube, you need a measuring cylinder, you may use any common product or apparatus. Describe how you want to do the experiment, how to make it as accurate as possible, process the result, and determine the concentration of X. Again, this question is not easy to mark. Seriously, not easy to mark, because this is the marking scheme, and what happened is usually the student point will be jumping up and down. So it's not something that very difficult to mark. Okay, using the same volume of different 5 salt solution and put inside 5 different measuring cylinder. So I give 1 point for this one. Method because they ask you to do method so the student mention method. Then place an empty test tube into the measure cylinder and measure the distance of the test tube, you get 1 mark. Do the same to the solution X, okay, so you get 1 mark, okay. Measuring the length of the perpendicular eye level to ensure accurate result, so you get 1 mark, perpendicular eye level. Compare of the measurement of solution X to determine the solution concentration of solution X. Okay, so this one you get 1 mark. But here got say compare in beaker level A, B, C, D. 5 salt solution concentration are placed in the level. So basically he is talking about A, B, C, D. There's correct or not? Concentration in the beaker are labeled. So there are 5 concentration A, B, C, D. So if you put A, B, C, D is better because it shows that there is not only you want to measure solution X, but solution X is in A, B, C, D, that solution X something unknown. The something unknown is A, B, C, D. So it's better. Measurement to measure solution X to determine the concentration of solution X. Okay, I still give 1 mark. If tested sink in solution X, it shows that solution X has a dilute concentration. So this one I didn't give any mark. If test tube sink, because all test tubes sink eventually, so I didn't give any mark. There is no test tube that cannot sink, right? It makes no sense unless the salt is so concentrated until the test tube cannot sink. But we know it's impossible unless you use a mercury, but we know it's impossible because we are talking about salt solution. So it will sink, but the measurement of its sink is different. So we want to mention properly. If you want to say point like this, you can say that measure the depth of the test tube sink. If the depth is higher, therefore the concentration of the salt is lesser. You can say something like that, then it will make more sense. So I just give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the student get 5 marks for this question. But of course you can write other things. For example, you can say maybe you can say repeat, I don't know, he already say a lot. Use ruler to measure it to depth of test tube. Okay, pour the sample of 1 salt. You can write something like that. Pour the sample A, B, C, D. Repeat the experiment the student say. Okay, different, avoid parallax error. Okay, this one I can give 1 mark because here got 1 mark. I already give 1 mark for perpendicular eye level. Okay, but he got say repeat I also already give 1 mark for the repeat. Use a thin ruler to measure, something like that. If you want to say use a thin ruler, so the point is all over the place So basically 7 marks. Usually I recommend student to do around 8 point You need to give 8 point because here I only can find 5 point. So at least you need to give 8 point. 1 point is the emergency emergency. But if you don't know what point you want to give, you can look at the marking scheme and how you want to do it. And I already mentioned many times, plot a graph, processing result. Just write plot a graph or plot a table. Okay, you will got 1 mark. The reason is when you do experiment, no matter what experiment, there's always 3 things that you want. It could be 3 things you want. Either it's a graph, histogram, it could be a statistic, it could be a pie chart. But for our science experiment, usually it's a graph But in experiment, there's always pie chart. If you study further, you know there's a, even you study further also you still need a chart. It's just like the chart is different. They got the what formula to calculate the chart. That one you need to learn statistics But you still need a chart because we are human. We need to see something that we can interpret, or table, at least a table. If not, then you can get a 1 mark. You see, at least a table, then you get 1 mark. Or if you want, you can plot out the table, but you no need to write the value. Okay, you just plot the table, write the X, Y, Z, because A, B, C, D, cm, something like that, initial temperature, whatever just draw something also can. It shows to you that you will eventually get 1 mark because you draw something on your paper. Okay, so the wasted. Okay, so yep, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you very much.